Hey, have you ever felt like you were meant for more? And I don't mean that in like a super cheesy way. I mean, I guess maybe I do a little bit. But what I mean by that is, do you know that you're meant for more than you currently have and the results you're currently getting and things like that? And you're just not stoked about where things are. If that's you, I need you to pay really close attention to this video because I'm going to talk about what it takes and the format that I have found that helps you bust out of that feeling so that you can actually progress and doing more of what you want. Let's do it. Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Chris Creed. Welcome to the Wake Up Get Better show. I think I'm still calling it that. Shoot, I don't know, dude. I think I'm still calling it that. Guys, let me tell you something. I started a podcast in, I think it was 2014. That was my first podcast. It was called the Work Podcast. And it was about people who show up and do the work even when they don't want to. Or show up and do the work because they have no other choice. Meaning, so like if you're at a company and you are a creative and you're kind of forced to show up and be creative at a moment's notice without any sort of like breaks in between, like you're just kind of forced to do that. So it was for the people who show up and do that work, and that was what it was about. So I started that in 2014. It was audio only because there weren't a lot of like video podcasts. And now when I think people hear podcast, what they think is, oh, I started a video show like this, because that's kind of what the art has kind of molded into. And it's interesting because I'm curious. You can comment down below and let me know. Do you listen to podcasts or do you watch them? Because I really do want to know which is you, because I know for me personally, I watch a lot of YouTube, but I don't actually like watch it. You know, I usually am listening to it either in the car, on walks, or on bike rides and stuff like that. So I'm not really like watching it a lot, but sometimes I'll watch something, but I'm never like setting it turned on the TV or anything, unless it's something jiu-jitsu related or something I really like and want to watch. But mostly I'm just listening to it. So anyway, I'm curious. Let me know. But I say all that to say, I think this is still the Wake Up Get Better podcast. It's just that it also happens to be mostly me on YouTube talking about stuff, and hopefully it's helpful and relatable to you too. So one of the things I have been thinking about this week, and you may not relate to this as much as I do, so you can also let me know if like this sounds like you, but I've been feeling a lot of like pressure, and the pressure is not coming from any outside source. It's coming from the inside. And it's almost like this buildup of feeling like I'm meant for more and having this vision of where I want to go, but I'm not there yet. And it's weird. I mean, I felt it before, but I've just ignored it. But today I kind of had this moment of, dude, I am like, this is crazy. I can't continue to be this far away from where I want to go. But I've been feeling this pressure. And it sucks. And maybe you felt that too. Like maybe you feel the pressure of like, you know, having a consistent flow of income. You have a consistent business. You have consistent things that you're making that you in ways you want to show up in the world. Maybe you're writing a book or you want to write a book, which is one of my goals this year. And there's just a lot of like pressure to show up. And it's not that it's self-inflicted. It's more about that I have this vision that I want to go, and I'm met with this limitation of perceived time. One of the things I learned early on in jiu-jitsu, and if you don't train jiu-jitsu, I'm sorry, like this is just one of the things that I talk about because it's one of my interests, and it's one of the things that I do and spend a lot of my time on. And in fact, I think I've done 265 classes over the last 2 years. And those classes have roughly been about, let's say on average, maybe an hour and a half. So let's just do the quick math of that. That's 397 hours, 16 full days of my life that I have spent in this art. So it's important to me. And by the way, if you want to know what's important to you in life, you should look at how you spend your time. It will tell you every single time what's important. But one of the things I learned early on when I started training jiu-jitsu was that it felt different on my body. Like literally that first week, I felt like my neck was broken and my back was so sore. My arms were sore, like in places I didn't even like feel before, you know, like the joints. And I thought I was dying. Like it was that intense. And well, that may be dramatic, but you know what I mean? That's how I felt. I was like, this sucks. Like this is not right. Maybe this is not right for me. And now after a while, I came to this realization of like, oh, this is just how jujitsu feels. And that's a silly story to illustrate a point that maybe for you and for me too, when you are feeling this pressure that is caused by the vision and the separation between where you are and where you want to go, that gap starts to feel like a lot of pressure. Whenever you're feeling that, maybe it's not bad. Maybe you're not dying. Maybe it's not the end of the world. Maybe it's just the way it feels to be in the story. What I mean by that is when we're watching a story, when we're watching a movie unfold in front of us and the character is going through struggle, but we know where they're going. Like you think about Frodo in the ring, like early on, we know exactly what is happening. We know exactly what the goal is. Deliver the ring to Mordor, throw the ring in the volcano, done. Destroy the ring. That's the goal, right? So now we have to go on the journey to do that. And when we're watching all this crap happen to them, we may think, oh, they might not make it. Like that's where we're meant to think here, but we don't think that we're watching the wrong movie just because bad things are happening or they're not getting where they want to go fast enough. We just understand that that's how the story goes. Right? So maybe for you and for me too, and this is a realization I had just a second ago in the kitchen, was that maybe this is just the way it feels to be in the story. Maybe this is just the way it feels to be in the story. So I wanted to encourage you and say that to you today because maybe you're feeling stuck. Maybe you're feeling the pressure. Maybe you're feeling like you're not progressing enough. Maybe you're feeling this pressure to provide and to pursue your vision and to, be a good dad or be a good partner or be a good mom and be a good partner. Like whatever it is, you're feeling all this pressure. And maybe it's not bad. Maybe it's just the way it feels to be into the story. And if you can reframe it like that, I think that's really beneficial. But there's more to it than that. There's actually something you can do. So one of the things I talked about in the workshop I did last week was going into the future and being like kind of like sort of like taking yourself like time traveling in. I did a video on this too. Time traveling into the future to spend time with your future self and like your future reality, so that you can be in the vision more frequently than just like being stuck here and maybe eventually you get there. But there's more to it than that. Like it's more than just a mental exercise. And I want to tell you more about that right now. One of the things that I help people do, and I'm kind of invigorating this for myself and for, the way I talk about what I do, is I help people be more, do more, and have more. And you may notice that those three words, be, do, have, kind of show up a lot in this work. And the reason for that is because the word be, what that means is to take on the identity of the person, right? Not just like pretending that you're the person, but actually being the person who is at the end, being the person who has the vision, being the person who has made it to the end, being the person who shows up even when they feel this pressure. What does it look like to be that person and recommit to that on a daily basis? That's a good question. The second thing is to do, right? So once we become that person and we decide to step into that identity for real, then we do the things that that person would do and we don't do the things that that person wouldn't do. And that leads us to the third piece, which is the have piece, which is once we're being the person and we're doing the things they're doing and we're not doing the things that they wouldn't do, then we get to have the things that that person would have faster, right? So that's why in my work that I do with creatives, with owners, with entrepreneurs, with business people, I help people be more, do more, and have more so that they can get better, so they can get where they want to go faster. And so I wanted to give you that framework of thought, but I also want to walk you through something real quick. That is a practice of mine. It's a practice that I work with clients, and it's called EFT tapping. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically tapping on points on your body that are acupressure points that help things move through. So if you're feeling a big emotion or whatever, you're feeling anxiety, it was developed to help people with PTSD and any sort of like post-traumatic stress. And it helps you move through those and mitigate those signs by like up to 60%. So if you're having like this anxiety feeling, which is stealing from your present energy, that's keeping you from doing the thing that's going to get you what you want, if you're having that, this can help you move through that really easily. I also want you to know that this process is really powerful. So if you've never done it before, understand that it might bring some stuff up that you might have to deal with. So like if you haven't worked with a therapist before, you haven't done any of this work before, just tread lightly and understand that it might just bring some stuff up. Also understand though that your feelings are not bigger than you and they're not stronger than you, and you can deal with this. Okay. And the reason I say that though is because when we're having those feelings of overwhelm, of that we're not getting where we want to go, that we know we're meant for more, but we're not progressing fast enough, those are the moments when it's most opportune to do this exercise. And the reason I say that is because at the beginning of this exercise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say some things that might even sound mean to yourself, right? And the purpose of that, and so by the way, if you're listening to this, don't listen to this without doing the tapping because it's going to elevate that feeling, and the tapping helps it move through. So if you're not doing that, it actually won't move through. Okay. So we're going to bring up those feelings, but when they're there already, it's a lot easier to access. So I'm going to walk through this real quick because it's really present for me right now. And one of the things I like to do on this channel is document my journey of how I'm feeling, and things that I'm learning to help me progress faster so that I can be more, do more, and have more and get better. Cool. So here we go. All right. What I want you to do is take a deep breath through the nose. I'm going to have a process that I walk through that I'll tell you about in another video. But the important thing that you need to know right now is that we're going to ground and then we're going to do the tapping. Okay. So take a deep breath through your nose and out through your nose. And do that one more time. In through the nose. Out through the nose. And one more time. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Okay. Now, I'm going to get into the tapping. And like I said, if you're not feeling these feelings right now, but you know that you have felt them and you know that this is a thing that comes up for you, then it's important to do this work, even if the feeling's not big right now. Cool? But especially if you're feeling it right now, this is a great time to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap on these points. The points are this right here, and the eyebrows, sides of the eyes, underneath the eyes, under like the upper lip right here, the chin underneath the bottom lip thing right here, and then the collarbone. And sometimes I like to rub in this point right here. And then we're going to tap underneath the arm like that. And then I like to finish on top of the head like this. Cool? And we'll just move through those and I'll try to call those out as we go. Okay, so but we're going to start right here on the karate chop point of the hand. And I want you to say, even though I'm not where I want to be, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. Hang on. I feel the need to explain this before we get into this. When I say, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself, your brain might go into a place of defensiveness. I don't have anything to forgive myself for. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to get into why these phrases work right now, but I'll do another video about that. But just understand that you didn't do anything wrong. This is just a process of moving things through, okay? So we're going to tap right here. Even though I'm not where I want to be, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I'm not where I want to be, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I'm not where I want to be, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. Now we're going to tap through the points. So let's tap on the eyebrows. Man, I'm not where I want to be. And things are not moving fast enough. Sides of the eyes. And underneath the eyes. I'm not doing good enough. Man, I just don't feel like I'm smart enough to do this. Underneath the nose. This all just feels really overwhelming and hard under the chin. And the collarbone. Whew, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm ever going to progress fast enough. Underneath the arm. I am just not where I want to be. the eyes, eyebrows. I feel stuck. On the sides of the eyes. I'm not progressing fast enough. This is causing a lot of pain underneath the eyes. And frustration underneath the nose. And fear underneath the lip. And I'm scared that I'm not going to make this happen. And underneath the arm, I'm not moving fast enough. On top of the head, I'm not moving fast enough. Okay, stick with me, guys. So we're going to walk through the rest of the points again. But I want you to sit with this feeling for a second. Take a couple deep breaths. And now, let's move through the points again. Let's tap on the eyes. Man, even though I feel stuck on the sides of the eyes, I know that I am meant for more. And underneath the eyes. And that, if this is meant for me, underneath the nose, then I know I'm capable of achieving it. Underneath the lip. I know that I can do this because it came to me. Collarbone. I know that I can do this because it's my vision. And underneath the arm. I know that I can do this because I am becoming more. On top of the head. Becoming more. Eyebrows, doing more. On the sides of the eyes, and having more. I now choose to step into the identity underneath the eyes of the person who can do this. And underneath the nose, I know exactly what this looks like. Underneath the bottom lip, I know exactly what to do. And even though I've failed in the past and maybe things haven't gone as fast as I wanted to in the past and I've given up, collarbone, and underneath the arm, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. And on the top of the head. And I choose to move forward towards this vision now, knowing that this is for me. On top of the hand here. I am ready. I know that I can do this. I want you to rub your hands together like so. Create some friction and some heat in there, and then just rub it over your face. Fling it away. Let's try one more time. Yeah. And see how you feel. You know, one of the reasons why I started doing this exercise was because of the immediate relief that it gives. That was one of the reasons. The other reason was something else that I noticed. And it's actually one of the reasons why I say I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. And it's because that is tied to an ancient Hawaiian idea called Ho'oponopono. And that idea of Ho'oponopono is just 4 phrases. And those 4 phrases are, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And the idea is that when you say those things, it kind of opens up a pathway through the data in your mind that's blocking everything. And it allows inspired action to come through. Things that you already probably knew what to do, but they were being blocked by the things that keep you stuck on a daily basis. And one of the things I noticed is when I would do this exercise that I just walked you through, is that I would get inspired ideas. Things would come to me and I knew exactly what to do next. And so the reason why I like doing this with clients, and I like doing this as a part of my work, just in my own personal work, is because of that truth. That it seems to unlock the next right thing. And I want you to know something real quick as we're talking about this idea of feeling like we're meant for more. You know what you want to do. You know what the dreams you have. You know what you started the year with, and maybe you fell off track. Who cares, man? You're here right now. You're here today. And here's the truth. You know what to do. You know what you want to do. And you don't have to do it all right now. It feels that way because you want to get there faster, but you don't have to do it all right now, man. You can do the next thing. And that sounds like some like frozen Disney stuff, but it's also the truth, man. Do the next thing. And then do the next thing, and then do the next thing. It's the people who get overwhelmed by it all and just stop, that nothing ever happens. They don't actually become more, right? But you know the path to becoming more and doing more and having more because you know what to do. It's all right there, and all you have to do is unlock it. So go back and watch this video anytime you feel stuck again. And do not let that thing win, man, because that is part of the dragons. One of the things that I talk about in the Creative Codes workshop, which I'll probably do another one here soon, but one of the things I talk about is in every story, a hero decides what they want to do, and they go on an adventure, and then what happens immediately? Immediately they meet obstacles. Immediately they meet struggle. They meet these things that are in the way, and they have to move fast on them. I call them dragons. One of the dragons that you're going to face is this feeling of like you're not moving fast enough. And when you let that thing win, man, you're just going to be fighting it over and over and over again until you get past it. And you have to understand something about this work too, is that this stuff just doesn't magically go away. It's stuff you might be looking at for the rest of your life. But that's okay, because that's just what it feels like to be in the story. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. My name is Chris Creed. This has been the Wake Up Get Better show, and I'll see you next time.